So in our very last class, which I took, I discussed about positioning. Is there anyone with concern or query or question on positioning? Anyone in the class? Okay. I want to take no response as no question.
No, sir. I have a question, sir.
Then why didn't you talk? Why do you have to wait till I say I want to take silence as no question? Okay, go ahead.
During the time I was doing practice on positioning, I came to realize that when I use position relative, it looks exactly alike. Like when I use position absolute, when I used two other elements in the body elements. So that's on my own phone. I don't know, maybe it's
Now,
for everybody.
I want you to expatiate what you mean by they look similar. You said they look alike, right? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
So what
Yes,
do you
sir.
mean by that statement that they look alike?
Like the responsibility of both of them looks alike. Instead of like for me adjusting, for example, me adjusting a particular tag, a particular element to 30 px right, like right 30 px on position relative and 30 px right on position absolute. It seems alike.
Okay. Did you go back to the recordings of that class?
Yes, yes, sir.
And yet you did not understand the differences
Yes,
between relative and absolute.
yes, sir.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay. Um, I'm going to give you control now. Let me see what you are talking about because
Okay.
I don't want you to make up story here. So let me see
Okay.
what you are talking about. You have the floor. Show me. Please make it fast. You know,
This is what I meant, sir. Um,
let me see your HTML structure
this,
first. Okay, you are talking about this assignment.
yes, sir.
Okay, you are referring to this assignment. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, so
So
uh,
when I change this, one,
you are breaking.
let's say for example, if um,
Your network is bad.
greater than, okay, let's say I change the absolute. Uh, okay. When I did it, it responded alike, but I don't know why it's doing like this.
Try that again. Can you turn this thing to landscape?
Okay, sir. Okay. But the other time when I tried it before, it had a kind of similar responsiveness.
hold on. And why is your London in between your character? What did you do to the
Yeah,
heading?
I just changed it now to
So what? Which was
absolute.
absolute? Okay. Now tell me about absolute. How is the behavior of our absolute? Tell me. Explain to me.
The behavior of absolute supposed to go every border of the element it is placed. For
No.
example, like
Okay.
it's like it's supposed to be able to go to any direction inside. It's supposed to be like its responsivity supposed to be it can be maneuvered any direction inside
Inside
its
what?
body.
No.
Its body.
You are not getting it. Now go back. Now I know where I've seen the problem. Now go back to the video. I will not talk here. Go back to that video. Listen carefully because I have explained it in there. Listen carefully again. Don't just
Okay.
play it. Listen to every word I said in that video
Okay.
because what you are talking about now, I know because I, I'm the facilitator. I know that I have explained it very well in that video. So I want you to go back, listen to every word carefully, pay attention to every word I said on relative and absolute because I spent time explaining the difference. Then after that, then you can private chat me. Don't see if you have question, right? That is
Yes, sir.
probably like this. What
Yes, sir.
private chat me, send me WhatsApp messages. Yes.
Uh,
All right. So
yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
let's go back. Let's go back to what we are, because now our time is. By now I know we must have spent like almost 30 minutes now. Okay, so let me take control back. All right. So um, now we are going into responsive design, and in responsive design, we are trying to design a page that is that will react very well to changes in the width, size of the device, or the height of the device. I went to a site. Okay, let me see whether I can still uh, let me see whether I can still have access to that site. Hmm. Let me just see. Um, yeah, I think this is it. But I took a picture of it. No, this won't be easy for me. I'm only trying to demonstrate um sec.gov. Okay, sec.gov. Ericsson WhatsApp group. Let me try and search for that. Sec.gov. Now, if I go to this site, now this thing, if I go to mobile size of it, let me see how this will respond. Okay, this one actually respond well. It actually responds well. But something maybe they have done something to the side. Before it was very small on my mobile. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to explain is this. Um, some websites, if you visit some websites, right, and you try to reduce the viewport of that site to the screen size of a mobile, you will see that the presentation will look so bad. So this one now is responsive, but at the same time, you can see that I I, I will need to squint my eyes to if I'm trying to read these characters here, these words, and which is not supposed to be, right? It should respond adequately to the size of the viewport. When I say the viewport, I'm talking about the width and the height, right? So now, if I go back, let me see whether I can get one of the past class work that we did, so that you see what a non-responsive site looks like. Front end class work. I'm not very sure I can find one, but let me try. Let's see this. Let me try this. Let me see this table. This is one of the past work we did in the way back. Now, if I take this to a mobile size, okay, this one too is even responsive. You can see that the table is adjusting adequately to the size of the viewport. So that is what being responsive is all about. I can't lay my hands on one that is not responsive, right? Now, for you to design a site that is responsive, I hope I'm recording. Let me confirm. Yes, I'm recording. So for you to design a page that is very responsive to the size of your device. We have different devices. For example, we have a mobile. We even in mobile phones, we even have a small mobile phone, a bigger mobile phone, and or more a more and even a much bigger phone again. Then we have the tablet, and all these devices I just mentioned. You will observe that the screen size is either um, lower than the other. For example, the screen size of a mobile device is smaller than the screen size of a tablet device. And in the same uh, note, the screen size of a tablet is smaller than the screen size of a laptop, and the screen size of a laptop is even smaller than the screen size of a desktop. So, and that is all we need to put at the back of our mind when we are trying to design a web page or web app, because in your web application that you are trying to design, it is still HTML, CSS, JavaScript that you are still going to use in such mobile app, although the technology used may be different. For example, we use React Native when we are developing mobile app for both Android and iOS devices. So for you to gain ground on that, you need to understand what a flex box is. Now, responsive design, you can achieve that using media queries, grid, flexbox, and external framework like Bootstrap. I'm not going to go into Bootstrap because it's another um kettle of fish on its own. So what I'm going to go through with you is just Flexbox, Grid, and I will talk about media queries also, right? So we use this for to design a responsive web page. Now, what is a Flexbox? If you remember that I discussed about floats in the past, the float property allows you to move divs around. For example, let's say, no, not just div, element. So don't let me just, I'm not trying to limit it to one of the elements. So let's see, I think I have, do I have anything float here? Let me see, float. No, there's no float here. Okay, okay, yes, there's one here. Now, let me open this. Now, let's open this. Now look at this very simple page. Let's go and understand the structure. It's just one div that is there. One div. The rest I've commented out because I do not need them. So now if I go to the CSS, okay, let me, oh, you know what? Let me just comment this one out. I want to start again so that you understand what I'm doing. So now you can see that I have, okay, let me put a style here. Let me just see div, okay, style, then div, background color, red. Okay, then let me reduce the size, the width size. Okay, can anyone tell me before I put the width? Why is the background extending from left to right? Can anyone in the class answer that question?
Could you repeat that again?
Now, I applied the background color of red to this div.
Mhm.
Yes or no?
Yes, you did.
Good. Now, and you observe that the background extends from left to the far right. So my question is this: why is that so? Why do we have the background extending from the far left to the far right?
Is it?
Anyone can answer the question, so it's open.
Is it because it has a border?
No. No.
I think because it's not a box, um, it's not a box element.
It's not a box element.
It's a text. It's a text.
No, you are wrong. I'm surprised at you, Israel. Give me that answer. Anyone? The answer is very simple and it's just right at your nose. Or you are not perceiving it, you are not smelling it. Okay, so no one. How many do I have in the class? Let me even check. Mary, tell me, why is that so? Mary is hiding. Ademola, can you tell me?
I'm not so sure.
Okay.
Says it because the position is static. Or
Yeah, the position is static because that is the default position of an element, but that is not the reason.
it has no property then.
No, that's not the reason. Okay. Now, this is a default behavior of a block level element. A block level element will occupy the entire width of the page. That's block level element. That is the reason. These little nuances, you need to keep it at the back of your mind because these are behaviors that you need to understand for you to be able to write your CSS code with confidence. So now, if I try, let me go back to the code. If let's say I'm writing a an inline element, for example, span. Span is an inline element. And inside that, I have hello, for example. Let's say hello. And I say span. Okay, before I write the selector, now look at that, right? So now span, and I give it a background of red. No, what am I doing? So you can see this span is not moving from the far left to the right. Why? Because it is an inline element. Inline element, we only occupy the width of its content. And in this case, the content of this span is hello. And you will see that that is the width it's occupying. Now, I'm going to delete this span because I don't need it. I'm only trying to explain what we have discussed many times in the past. So because I do not want this div to extend from far left to right, I'm going to give it a width of 200 pixels. Now, I've given it a width of 200 pixels, but I want to give it an height also of 200 pixels so that I have a square. Yes. Then I can now decide, okay, maybe I want this content to be at the center. Okay, fine. So I will say test align center. I'm just playing around with this so that it's now here, right? But if I want to push it down here, I will still need to do some level of what's it called? Playing around with properties, but I don't want to do that now because I'm not talking about that. So now, let's say I apply the float property, float to the right. You can see it moves from here down to the right. Floats behaves a little like absolute positioning. Because the moment you float it, you have moved it out of the normal flow of documents. Who can tell me the normal flow of documents? Let me remove the float first. Who can tell me what I meant by normal flow of documents? Yes, document. Who can tell me?
Sir, I think the normal flow of documents is to the left-hand side of the browser.
The left hand of the browser one. Mhm. Now, what happens if I now add another element like what I'm doing now? This is one container div element. Now I'm adding another one right below it. What will happen? Tell me what will happen.
It will be below it by default.
Thank you. It will be below it by default. By default, it will go below the first one, and it will be aligned to the left hand side, right? So now I'm trying to create different two elements so that you will see what I'm talking about. I've said this also when I was discussing about positioning relative and absolute. Many of you must have forgotten, or maybe at that time, probably you are daydreaming, you are thinking of the dinner you are going to eat that day, because food is so sweet to dream about. So, so, and you might have missed that point, and that is the reason why it is good to always review the recordings. So now I'm creating two elements, this LO and this blue LO. Now you can see that by default, right, it is left aligned and one goes right below the other. Now, that is for block level element anyway. Block level element is so stingy, doesn't want anything on this line, right? Any other thing will go right below it. So now let's see what happened if I say float, just float. Float. Okay, let me increase this size first so that you will see where it is. Because if I do not increase the size and I apply float on the red element, you will not even see the blue element again. So float, let me just say float to the left where you are, just float there. Now look at, you can see now that the red div is taken out of the normal flow of document. The blue is not right below it. Rather, it has gone up to occupy the position of the red element. It's like you bringing the red element towards you, and the blue element is right at the back, and it now moves up to the behind the red div. That is the behavior. Now, if I remove this float, you will see what I'm talking about. It you go back to the normal flow of elements, but the floats we take the red out of the normal flow of element, and any other thing we occupy its position. I can now decide, okay, I want to move this red to my right. So the red will go to the right. That is floating. That is all we can do with floating. Now, let me try to bring let me remove this one. I do not need this one again. I've explained what I needed to explain there. Let me see. Do I have any image I can use? Let me see any image. No, 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 no. There's no image here. I should have an image folder actually. Maybe I will create image folder here so that I can see image to use. Okay, let me see this one. Okay, this one is not an image. Okay, this is an image, but it's too big. Okay, let us try to. Okay, I think there's one here. Let me see this one. A board. Okay, fine. Now let me try and see if I can access that image from that location. So let's say I have the image. Okay, I want to add an image. What elements am I going to use to add an image to my page? Joshua. Joshua,
Yes, sir.
I want to add an image, an image to my elements, to my page rather. So which element am I going to use?
The image tag.
The image tag. So how do I link the image? How do I link the image?
Um, we'll have to use the
Okay. I'm going to use the source attribute and I'm going to find okay, let me where is that? Where did I see that image again?
so
I think image. Okay, I think is this one. Then image and board. Yes. Let me see whether I can view. Okay, yes, I can view it. Let me delete this one first, at least for now. Okay, so let me remove the background. I don't need the background for now. Okay, so now let me just add a paragraph right there. So let me just go to Lorem Ipsum to get some
okay.
fictitious data. Let me just use this one. Copying this data, going there and paste. So I will go back to my browser. Now I have this. Okay, so now I'm going to remove let me remove the width and height of this one for now. So good. So now I have this. So now I want this image to be on the left hand side. So the first thing I will do is to now create an image selector, then float the image to the left. Let's see what that will give us. Yes, you can see the image has gone to the left. And because we have floated that image, the paragraph will try to occupy the space above it. And you can see that those letters, those characters are now right beside it. Now, I can tell the this paragraph tag that okay, can you kind of create a little space between the image and your own content. So by doing that, I can apply, for me to do that, I can apply some level of margin left to this so that it will go away from this image. So since it's just a single P there's no other P, so I can use the P selector. So P selector, and if I do margin left rather, and I say, okay, 20 pixels, let's see what that will give us. Okay, wow, something is not right, it's not changing. Okay, I know I need to do, okay, clear. Is it clear? I'm coming clear right. No, it's not clear right. This one will not do anything. Let me see. Clear right. This one should not do anything. Should not do anything. Okay, let me take that out. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, first, let me try to align this guy. Let me try to, okay, I've applied this guy. Let me remove this guy first. Remove this guy because this will tweak my design. Okay, so now everything is now, the P tag is now left aligned, but I want space between this image and my letters. In fact, I need to copy more data. Let me go to Lorem Ipsum and copy and just, okay, let me just copy this. Let me just copy this. I want it to wrap around that image. Let me paste more to that place. So let's see what we have. Okay, I see. I even need more. Let me just paste more. Let me just paste more. Paste. Okay, yes, this is what I want to see. Now, but this guy is still so close to the image, right? Now, I need to do something to move this away from this image. What do you think I can do, Israel? Because me too, as I'm talking, I'm thinking about it. Israel, help me out. What do you think I can do to move this out? First of all, let me remove this margin first so that we can see with clarity. So this is how it looks like.
Yes,
So,
sir.
but I need to move this, create some space between this image and this characters here. So what do you think I can do?
That's margin
It's margin. Okay. With that margin, where should I apply it? On which element?
on the image.
On the
element.
image. Okay, good. And that's what I'm thinking too. Let's try it. So margin right? Is it right or left?
Right, sir.
Right.
Right. Good. So if I do, let's say 10 pixel, right? Now you can see
Yes, sir.
we have that space. Let's even increase it further. So we have space right there. So now I'm showing you this so that you know where to apply floats when you are designing your page. You don't use floats when you are designing layout. Now, this is what is called layout. You are trying to see how you can arrange your content. This is layout. You don't use floats for layout. No. You use Flexbox grid for to design your layout. But now inside that either grid or Flexbox, you can now use floats. Maybe you have an image inside this div. Now this item here, you have an image and you have your characters and you want it to float around it. Yes, you can now apply float inside that. So where and when is it advisable to use float? Do not use floats when you are designing layouts. It will make your work so tedious, cumbersome, and not tractable. Tractable means not easily managed. You can't manage it. You cannot maintain it. Now, but when can you use float? You use float if you want to wrap some content around an image. Yes, like what we did right here. Do not use float to design your menu. Yes, some sites they use float to design menu. I have used that before. If you can go back to the previous recordings, but don't use float to design your menu. Don't use float for your layouts. Flexbox, great. They are good for layout. We have spent 1 hour, so let me try to round up. So now, I'm going to introduce to you Flexbox, which is part of what you are still going to use. I'm going to give you this assignment back, this Zoom assignment. Let me see, I think Zoom, yes. This Zoom, let me see this one. Did I use float? Did I use Flexbox here? Yes, I use Flexbox here. Now, if I run this, let me close my before somebody will go and copy it. And I've showed it, and they will see it in the recording. Chai. Chai. Now look at this. I use Flexbox to redesign this. So now, if I try to, if I try, somebody should mute, please. If I try to reduce the size of my page, right, you will see that it is responding accurately. But if I now go back, I will not give you this assignment again. I've exposed the code. Now, if I go back to another one we did, I can't remember what I called that one. I should have labeled it very well. I should have called this on Zoom Flexbox. I know we did. I used one for you. I can't remember now. Oh, it's a pity. I didn't label it very well. So now the Flexbox will make your work very responsive to devices like this. So now let us now go into details, at least as an introduction for today. We will continue on Flexbox next week. So not next week, it's still this week, but on Saturday. Now, Flexbox. Flexbox has two major components. The container. The container and the flex items. You can put as many items in here as you want. So all these ones, they are called flex items or just items. But this is flex container or just container. So these are the major two components of Flexbox. Now, let us now look. Okay, I have about 6 plus 5. That's 11 more minutes. Now, let's discuss about this container. The first thing I will do here is to create this container. And the container has its own property. As we can see, the displayed flex direction. We are going to go through this one after the other. Then the flex item also has its properties also. Now let's look at flex box practically. Now flex, let me see this. Okay, I'm going to remove all these ones. Okay, should I? Let me see. Let me see this one. Okay, no, okay. Let me just remove everything. Let me remove all this so that we start from the beginning to the end. Let me remove everything. So I'm going to remove everything. Now, who can tell me what I'm trying to do here? What is this one doing? What is it called in CSS? Ademola, what is it? What do we call this selector in CSS? What do you call it? Mary. What do you call it? Israel, what do you call it in CSS?
Sir, I can't see the code, sir.
You can't see the code. Oh,
Yes, sir.
and nobody is talking. Can you imagine? Can you see the code? Can you see the code now?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so who can tell me what this says? This select this what I just highlighted now. What is it called in CSS? Okay, Israel, can you mute? Since you don't have answers. David, what is this called? Israel, mute yourself, please.
Okay, sir.
David. Wow. I'm surprised that no one can answer this question.
I thought the other thing is selector, sir.
No, only this one. This one. I know what I'm highlighting. If I just highlighted this one, this is a selector. I said
yes,
this everything I'm highlighting. What is it called in CSS? What am I trying to do in CSS?
So is it the styling?
Yes, the styling. I'm highlighting everything.
Sorry, sir. I was hearing. I'm sorry. I just came back. Hello, sir.
I'm with you.
Sir, what's the question, sir?
I said what I highlighted. This CSS. What is it called in CSS? What is it called?
You mean everything you highlighted here?
Yes, everything I highlighted. Line 8 to 11. What is it called in CSS?
Is it universal reset? Do you mean?
You said?
Do you mean universal reset? Oh, I don't know.
What do you mean by universal reset?
What I mean by universal reset is by you selected the body and all the paragraph elements, and you created a margin of 0 and padding 0, because